Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 26 episodes now of Samp and Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. How are you, Chance?
I'm doing very well. How you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good, buddy. Here we are, Tuesday afternoon. A couple days removed from Hell in the Cell, a day removed from Raw. So I thought maybe we just kind of quickly go over Hell in the Cell quickly. I'm sure a lot of people already know everything that kind of happened. But it'd be just kind of nice to kind of, quickly just go through it quickly. What do you think?
They may know what happened, but they don't know the Bobby Sampson fresh take, though. That's why they're
Yeah,
tuning in.
yeah, fair enough, brother. Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. Hey, you know what? Before we start anything, guys, like and subscribe. That little button down at the bottom there, just subscribe. It takes what? How many seconds, man? Do you think it takes? About half a second?
Both, yeah, I'd say
About
that.
half a second. That's all I'm asking you for. On top of the time that you take to listen to our show, half a second, man, just to click that button to subscribe. And if you're feeling really, really generous, hit the notification button too. That'd be awesome as well. Also,
And
guys,
share it with your friends and family.
yeah, absolutely. Share with your friends and family, and like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Share with your family. Uh, find us on all social media platforms. Again, and I've stated this time and time again. Go to our Instagram, Samp_Chance, and you will find a bio link tree there where you will get leads. It'll take you everywhere we are, basically. Want to
Yeah.
see us on the Facebook? You'll see us on the Facebook. Want to see us on the TikTok, which we've just kind of got going and kind of having fun with it. Um, yeah, well, we're there too.
Yeah, we're on all the social media platforms, so no excuse not to find us. Whatever your preferred social media platform choice is, we're there.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get right into it. Hell in the Cell. Again, guys, we're just going to do a quick rundown. I'm sure most of you guys already know what happened, but we have to do our due diligence here. So the show starts off with the ladies kicking it off in the triple threat Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch versus Asuka versus Bianca Belair, your champion. I'm going to say this straight off the bat. Bianca, time and time again, just amazes me with her power.
Hell of a worker, dude. Every time she gets out there, I
Yeah,
think she's the best women's wrestler in the world in my book.
wow, that's coming
Who
from Chance Michaels, ladies and gentlemen.
who would you have over her
Um,
as far as women's division?
in over worldwide
Yeah, sure. Anybody,
of all
anywhere.
women, to be fair, like I mean, Bianca's really strong and everything, but I still think she still has a lot to learn in terms of character, in terms of storytelling and whatnot. She's come a long way. Don't get me wrong,
Mm.
but her in-ring skill, I don't think her in-ring skill is dominant as maybe say a Charlotte or a Sasha or even a Bailey. I put Bailey above her.
Think
In
so?
term, I think so. Just in terms of technique and skill set, right? I mean, a lot of that's overshadowed, in my opinion, by her power. Like her power displays are so big and
That's what I
strong.
mean. So it makes up for it. You don't know some of the.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could throw Rhea Ripley into that mix as well with her power.
She's got to be
And
the strongest woman wrestler out there too. I'd say.
between the two of them, absolutely, they have to be the two of the strongest. I mean, that Jade Cargill from AEW, she looks like a bit of a powerhouse herself.
Yeah.
But then again, like we'll touch on Rhea Ripley here in a little bit in terms
Speaking
of her
of women's
power.
wrestling, I want to ask you this: whatever happened to Awesome Kong?
Awesome Kong, yeah. So
What
basically,
tough broad.
she was a tough girl. She was really tough. She basically went on. Why do I know these things? She went on to she came to the WWE. Yeah,
Mm.
she got pregnant. She left. And there was never really an attempt to bring her back in any capacity or whatever. So she kind of left wrestling. The last thing that I saw her do was on Netflix in the Glow series.
Oh wow!
Yeah, yeah. So she did some of the Glow stuff. She was actually one of the ladies in the show itself. Um, Chavo Guerrero was actually the set director for the wrestling scenes, which was kind of interesting considering that
Cool.
she had a background in wrestling as well.
I
So
have no idea what Glow is. What kind of show is that? I've never even heard of it.
you've never heard of Glow?
No.
Okay, so this is where I date myself by 10 years compared to you, my young friend. So Glow was a all women's promotion back in the 80s, a
Okay.
legit promotion that ran out of Las Vegas. And it was basically a casting call. They called all these different models and athletes, females, to come in and try out for the show. Literally, it was a created show. Like they
Okay.
handpicked all the talent. They didn't have like actual women's wrestlers there per se. All these women came from different genres of life. Some were former actresses, some were models, some were inspiring actresses, and Ivory came from there. That's where Ivory got her break. She started off as Tina Ferrari.
I had no
In
idea.
yeah, well, here you go. Here's I'm dropping some knowledge on Chance
The reason
Michaels.
why I brought up Awesome Kong is I know how much of a crush you had on her. So I figured I'd see if you knew what she was up to.
Well, bro, I only had a crush on her after I saw you and her together out in the town, and I kind of got jealous by that, bro. So I wanted to see what all the hype was. What was driving Chance Michaels to the Awesome Kong. So I mean that was the only reason I got interested. I mean, it was you who got me there, bro.
She's a tough woman.
She's a big woman. I mean, she didn't have the most amazing skill set. Again, she was just another dominant woman.
Powerhouse, right?
She was a powerhouse. I mean, it's like saying this, okay? Andre wasn't a great wrestler, but his size and just the sheer Andre,
Especially back in those times, right?
Exactly, right? So I mean, Hogan wasn't a great wrestler.
No.
Right? I mean, you want to look at great wrestlers of that era, they were all big boys, but the great wrestlers were all like the Ric Flairs, the Magnum TAs, the
Arn Anderson,
the Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchards of the world were the
Macho
wrestlers.
Man, Steamboat,
Macho, exactly, right? But these big guys couldn't move like today's big guys. I'll say that much, right?
No.
I mean, you look at what Cesaro, I consider him a big guy just for sheer height and size and power.
Yeah.
But he could move, he could wrestle.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny you say that. The guys nowadays are definitely more athletic, but they can't talk. They don't got that coolness about them. Like Hogan, to this day, still looks cool. He's got the shades on. He's got the arms on. Like he's 60. What is he, 68?
He's got to be, man. The size of those guys'
are
arms, man,
big.
are massive. I saw a picture where Jinder Mahal recently took a picture with him in Florida. And the guy just looks monster still. Like for 68, good for you, brother.
A lot of people don't know Hogan was originally was 6'6", 6'7". Now he's 6'4". He lost 3 inches because his spine shrunk from all those leg drops he did all over the years.
But you know what? I think he's shorter than that because if you go online and look at that picture with him and Jinder Mahal, Jinder looks taller than him. And Jinder's about 6'2", 6'3", maybe.
Yeah.
Right. So he shrunk a lot, man. He shrunk a lot. I mean, considering the fact that the man always claimed the 24-inch pythons in every promo and whatnot, you'd figure his submission or his finishing move would be something to do with the 24-inch pythons.
Weighted a sleeper hold a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, his finishing move, like the leg drop of all moves.
I know.
Right? And if you think about it, who throws the leg drop anymore? Anywhere.
I haven't seen one in years, man. I never thought about that. Yeah.
Most useless move, most injury-ridden move in the history of professional wrestling, in my opinion, is the leg drop.
Yeah.
The dumbest move of all moves. Makes no sense.
I guess people figured if the almighty Hulk Hogan did it, nobody else can do it like that, I guess. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, the dude did it for 40 years. I think everyone realized after a double hip replacement surgery that, fuck it, we're not doing that move.
All of a sudden, he's 6'7", now he's like 6'3".
Maybe 6'2", tops. I can't see him being any more than that. But then again, I've not seen Hogan in person in a long time. Have you ever seen him live?
No, I've seen him live, yeah, WrestleMania 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to go.
But as a kid?
Yeah, I seen him as a kid, yeah, in 88 at the Coliseum, I think it was.
Okay.
One of those house shows. It's King Kong Bundy or something like that, or Big John Studd or something like that.
I saw him at BC Place against John Studd.
Yes, maybe it was BC Place. Maybe that was the
one. Pardon me. So back to Hell in the Cell. Again, like I said, Belair is just so bloody strong. I'll be honest. Move for move, these guys did a great job. The chemistry between the three women were amazing. I do not know what Sasha and Naomi are getting at. I mean, two of the women that they were complaining about were in this match, and they looked amazing together.
They just made a huge mistake for their career. I'm glad WWE suspended them for doing that kind of thing, because that's a joke.
Well, it's not the first time she's done that. I mean, I'm talking about Sasha, right? No. And everyone's saying that Naomi was manipulated by Sasha to do this. That's a bunch of crap. I mean,
That's crap. Yeah.
she's connected to the biggest family in wrestling right now,
Yes, the Usos.
right? The Usos and Roman, so to speak, right? So I mean, in essence, you're not being manipulated by anybody. You're
No.
making your own decisions, right? Little children get
Grown
manipulated.
woman, man. This is business. You made a bad business decision.
Chance, little children are the only people who should get manipulated,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, okay, you know what? Let me. No, I'm not going to retract that, but I will say that there are people in this world who get manipulated through other means, maybe blackmail or whatnot. And, those are unfortunate
Yeah.
situations. But for the most part, the only people who should get manipulated are our children,
Yeah.
Flying Grains and Little Miss Miss. The only
Yeah.
two,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
right?
hear you on that.
But yeah. So, anyways, Belair, she wins.
Good
She
match.
keeps her
Solid match.
title. Pardon?
Solid match. Great opener. It was a really good
No, it
match.
was a really good match, good energy, and I'll say this: the crowd at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, they can always make a shitty show look good. I'll give
Hmm.
that to Chicago. Every time they go to the Allstate Arena, the crowd's going to be live,
Yeah.
right?
Great fans.
I've seen shows come out of there that were just complete garbage shows,
Yeah.
but they looked amazing because the crowd was so lit.
Yeah. Great fans there.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, great pace, great storytelling. The facial expressions were great. I love the chemistry between all of them. She retains by pinning Asuka, which I guess is fair because you don't want to take anything off of Becky, and I don't think it hurts Asuka either.
No.
Um, so yeah, so that was basically how we kind of get started here. Then we go into a 2-on-1 handicap match with Omos and MVP versus Bobby Lashley. Um, Basic match, man. Very
Yeah.
straightforward. You got basically everyone working each other over, usual. Finishing this one, it shows you how much interest that I had in the match. Finish basically came when Cedric Alexander, the kind of lost soul, not who doesn't belong to anybody guy, um, tries to come and interfere in the match, and he gets caught by Omos.
Yeah.
Let me preference this. So before the match, Cedric comes up to Omos and MVP, and MVP basically tells him, "Look, I've given you a few chances here. Every time you fail, we don't need your help anymore." So I guess he decides to come out and help Bobby Lashley. In return, he ends up getting thrown out of the ring. That distracts Omos. Lashley hits the spear, hurt lock on MVP.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Match over.
I kind
Um,
of hope they bring this feud to an end. It hasn't been that entertaining. I mean, it's been okay, but I don't know. I think it's time to wrap that feud up.
Yeah, well, now we're going to start to see. I think we got the build coming up to SummerSlam and Money in the Bank. So, you know, um, WrestleMania season, I know it's 7, 8 months away, but still the reality is this is when the seeds start to get planted
Yeah.
for next March or next April. So I think we're getting a restart now on everything. I think WrestleMania season is officially over with this pay-per-view. I think we see fresh new matches going forward. KO, Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel, aka Elias. This is another story that's been going on for a while, but I think Kevin Owens has done a really good job of his animated actions and his animated way of presenting it. It's been a lot of fun. I'll be honest. I guess this is a kid's angle, to be honest.
Seems
I
like
mean,
it.
it feels like it, right? This is the kids' angle that the kids are getting behind. Like, I remember when I was a little kid. Like, do you remember the two Dave Hebners?
Yep.
Yeah, so very similar to that. Like
Yeah.
we
All of
get
it.
to school and that was like, oh my God, there were two Dave Hebners and whatnot. But same kind of thing here. Was he? No, it's Ezekiel. No, he's Elias. But hey, man, we all know the truth. Um, Here's what I thought was really cool, man. The flying knee that he threw at the beginning of the match, and that beautiful elbow that he threw up afterwards to get the match started. That's basically what's my name story. That's the
Yeah.
way I kind of look at it. It's just kind of what's my name. What's your name. It was fun. KO gets the win, which I think was the right thing to do. You got to keep him strong.
Yeah.
He gets him with the stunner. Nice flying knee though, man. I keep coming back to that. It was
Yeah.
kind of fun. It was a typical match, but I don't think this is over yet, and we'll get
Well,
into that.
they have a pretty hot feud going. I think they're going to go for another match at least.
Well, but this is the first time they actually had the match, right? I mean, there's been so much build up to it with the lie detector test, the tag team matches. How many times has he got to beat the Alpha Academy? You know, so
Yeah,
in all of it, this is the first match he's had with Owens.
it was a
So
good one. It wasn't bad at all. They did a good job. It was entertaining.
no, I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun watching them do it. Judgment Day versus AJ, Liv, and Finn. Judgment Day came out on top. Very simple. Great storytelling here. You can see how these guys are buying into what Edge is selling here tonight. Tonight,
Yeah.
they're selling it nicely. Like especially Rhea, I think she's doing an amazing job
She
with
looks
this
the part.
belt.
She has this, always had that dark look. She's like a goth punk rocker kind of look, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. You look at her from the time she came in to what she's become now. That evolution of her character is next level. And I think she's probably being the biggest part of the Judgment Day that you know it's giving it life and substance. Um, Throughout this entire match, he basically stood in the way of Finn or AJ completing anything. The end kind of basically came when she stood in front of Finn as he was about to do the coup de grace on a fallen edge there, and she stood in the way, which caused a distraction and basically, you know, Finn basically took the fall for that one, and that was
I,
the end of that match. And
I
then
can see
the
Finn joining up with them one day. You
well,
know,
we'll talk about that a little bit later on here, buddy.
yeah,
Um, After the match, they beat the shit out of Finn. Just beat the shit out of him, like beat the
yeah,
life out of him. You know what I mean? And that was basically it. But basic number 5, your man, Madcap Moss, the only match from SmackDown on this card. A very raw, heavy pay-per-view.
yeah. It was. I'm surprised they didn't put more SmackDown on there. Maybe they'll feature more SmackDown matches when Money in the Bank rolls around next month.
Well, you got Money in the Bank. See, I mean, you got it'll be a mixed one. Obviously, I think you're going to get about what I don't know how many they're going to do, 6 or 7, or
Something
is
like
it
that.
or is it going to be 8 to get 4 aside from either promotion,
Hard to say. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but
right?
you're definitely going to see a lot more SmackDown talent on there for sure.
Well, I mean, Ronda needs to defend. She didn't
Yeah,
defend at all. Roman didn't defend, but I don't think we're going to see him defend until. Actually, no. You know what? I think we'll see him at Hell in the Cell. I
you
think
mean
he
that Money
will.
in the Bank? You mean?
Roman Reigns, yeah, he'll probably defend at Hell in the Cell against Riddle. I'm guessing.
No,
This
you
is
mean
where
Money in the Bank? You mean?
Money in the Bank. Sorry, pardon me.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be a
Uh,
good. That'd be a good little feud.
well, I think it's going to be that way, which will then lead to Orton challenging him at SummerSlam, which then will lead to Big D, Drew McIntyre, challenging him at the show in Cardiff in Wales in
Speaking of
September.
that, they're saying you hear those rumors that Bray Wyatt's going to come back at SummerSlam.
It's
Who
only
knows?
fitting. Let's see. I mean, if he comes back to WWE, makes probably the most sense,
Yeah, we'll
right?
see what happens. Could be made up. Could be true. We'll see.
No, for sure. Madcap beat the shit out of him. He
Yeah,
basically did to him what he did to him, smashing his neck and in the chair and whatnot. So revenge is sweet. Madcap had new gear. He lost his suspenders. He's wearing black trunks now.
I
So
like that.
it's
I like
yeah,
that evolution
yeah.
of his character. Yeah, that goofy gear is okay when he's doing that silly stuff with Happy Corbin, but now they're not doing that. Change the gear up. He did. I like it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just kind of curious to what direction they go with him now.
That part I'm not sure about. He looks like $1 million. I don't know if it's
Well,
going to be.
you got Money in the Bank, so I mean, he potentially should fit into that as one of the guys going into that match. Um,
I hope
but I
so.
don't know. Let's see. Let's see. We've only started the road to Money in the Bank. So
Yeah.
Theory versus Ali for the United States title. Yeah. Theory wins with a pin. Let's just leave it. Let's put a pin in
Well, I'll
that.
say one thing: the crowd is behind the hometown boy Ali, though, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I loved his gear too. I almost started seeing Punk a few times when I looked at his trunks, just because he had the Chicago state flag on his trouser, on his tights,
Yeah.
and Punk usually kind of has that on the back of his trunks. So I kind of thought
Yep.
of that. Ali looked good. Theory looked good. Good back and forth. Basic standard match. I think it was just kind of a filler bathroom break match, and I hate to say that, but just leading up to the main event here, which was the only Hell in the Cell on this card. And I like that. I really do. In the past, they've done a couple Hell in the Cells in the same show. Um, I think there should only ever be just one Hell in the Cell match on the pay-per-view. There shouldn't
The
be
only
multiple.
downfall to this one was they didn't use the cage at all. Nobody went into the cage once, did they?
Through the cage?
Even hit the cage. Did anybody? I don't even think he even got thrown into the cage.
No, they had to play this
And I
really,
don't blame him
really
because of Cody's
cautious.
injury, but so it was
Yeah.
the prop. They didn't actually use the cell; it's the prop.
Well, there was a lot that they wanted to do. So let's just get into it right here with this one. Basically, Cody tore the muscle off his pectoral muscle completely while training a few days earlier. So he wasn't injured on the Saturday night before in a match or anything. This actually happened a few days beforehand when he was training at home or in his gym or wherever he was. Um, you're the fitness guy of us too. How do you manage to tear the
I think he's
pectoral?
training too heavy. He's lifting too heavy.
Okay,
So
so explain that. Help me
weird.
understand. Help us understand how that works. What could
If
he
you're
have been
lifting
doing?
weights, if you're doing a heavy lift, I don't know what he was doing when he did it, a dumbbells, bench, but if you pull too much and it's too heavy and just your body wears out, strain. He might have already been bugging him previously. One heavy pull, it pulls. Just like when I was squatting about a month ago, my lower back has been bugging me. I went up for a squat, I felt this pull on my back. Fucking back was throbbing for a couple of days. I knew it was there and I still trained anyways. That could be too. Might have been bugging him and then you pull something too heavy and just pulls a freak accident.
Did you find that if you feel a strain or something that sometimes, even though you might know better against it, that you still keep training thinking you can just work it out?
Yep, I did it last month, and I was back with sore as fuck for a couple of days. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I had to take one of my clients that I work with to the 7-Eleven to get Advil because my back was just throbbing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, I think
You
something
feeling
like that
better now?
happened. Bugging him, lingering a little bit, and like you just said, you still train anyways. You feel good. He wants to look good for Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Last things about
Well,
your body and
all right. So this match, Seth versus Cody. So Seth comes out, he's wearing his robe, he takes off the robe,
love it.
and he unveils the yellow polka dot trunks of Dusty's that he's wearing. Well, I mean,
Love
he's wearing the tights, the long tights, but he had the dusty colors on,
brilliant, brilliant.
right?
Love it.
That's really cool. I love the fact that Seth is always in different ring gear. There's nothing, kind of locking him into that whole shield thing anymore.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool to see. Cody comes out, he's got his jacket on and everything, so you don't really know what's going on yet until he takes that off. And the unveiling of that was unreal. I mean, that in itself was, a part of the match. Um, at that point, you think, wow, these guys do a great makeup job, or this
mm-hmm.
guy's just fucking insane. So it proved out that he is insane because that makeup, if they did a makeup job on him, it looked amazing. He didn't even smudge.
Yeah. If you look at a
Um,
picture from when Triple H had the same injury, they
Same
get
thing,
some.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it
So
might cut a little bit, but not much. That's legit. That was legit.
that was legit. And the fact that he worked with that, like, I mean, the pain that he must have been feeling.
Oh,
Like, if it's completely torn off the bone, do you even feel anything anymore? Or
no, man. He must
is
have
it
been.
completely numb? I don't
Yeah,
know. I've never.
they must have maybe gave him a shot or something, so he didn't feel it. I don't know.
Cortisone?
Yeah.
Okay.
But man,
Well,
if he didn't even go out there and do that, he could have easily said, "I can't go," and he could have put somebody else out there. But hats off to him for doing that because that takes a lot of balls, and he earned a lot of stripes, and he earned a lot of people's respect. To always call him mid-card Rhodes, and he's nothing like his dad. And man, he's on his way up. Keeps doing stuff like that, you know.
well, you know what? Like I said, I think we saw the evolution of the Cody Rhodes character grow leaps and bounds within that match alone.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think he accomplished more in terms of his own brand, in terms of his own legacy, in terms of what he's accomplished more than he ever has in any other promotion, and that's including AEW, I think.
Oh yeah. He's a bigger star now than he was there.
Yeah, absolutely. If he were to go back to AEW now, he'd be even bigger.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that, but you never.
No, I'll probably
Yeah,
not, right? I mean, but that just insane. Um, and a lot of respect goes to Seth Rollins here. I think he's the forgotten guy in all of this. I mean, he had to work with him. He had to keep him safe, right? So a lot of respect to Seth for, being a part of this as well. Like, I mean, both guys had to, it takes two hands to clap, right? You
Yep.
need your dance partner. And Seth proved to be an amazing dance partner for us as well.
I like how they called it the
Um,
bull rope too, as a tribute to Dusty.
yeah, no, 100%, right? These guys basically went back and forth, and they tried to do the best that they possibly could with the limited movement that he had. Like, there was a lot of high spots that were removed from here. My understanding was that there was a moonsault spot that he couldn't do, obviously. I believe there was other talk that they would get to the top of the cage or something. There was some stuff planned, but unfortunately, just with the injury, they couldn't do it. But
Still
I
turned out to
think,
be a great match, even considering all that.
yeah, but here's really fun. So they can't do all the things that they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever heard of a bull, what's it called, a bull rope match within the Hell in the Cell?
First time ever.
And that's what happened here, man. So basically, Cody finds the big rope with the straps attached to it under the ring. He puts it on, throws it over to Seth, and now you got an impromptu bull rope match within the Hell in the Cell. So I mean, just little things like that, little gimmicks that they added took, made it even
Yeah,
better.
very cool.
Um, basically,
I don't like also one thing. I don't like how Rhodes has beat Rollins 3 times in a row. I know they're trying to bring Rhodes up and probably set him up for a main event at WrestleMania, but to beat Seth 3 times, I
well,
think Seth should have had one win out of that.
I think Seth should have had the middle one. Okay, the backlash one should have gone to Seth, even if he had cheated or whatever the case may be. He should have taken that match. Um, yeah, I agree with you on that completely. But you know what? I think it all kind of works out in its own way here now. Um, three crossroads and a sledgehammer shot is what it took to finish him off.
Yeah.
So the tribute to Triple H was evident throughout this match. Um,
Cody Rhodes says the greatest wrestler of all time, so he's got nothing but love for Triple H.
no, it's his favorite guy, man. He
Yeah.
grew up that was his favorite wrestler, my favorite wrestler growing up. So that was basically Hell in the Cell. That was the card. Overall, I thought it was really fun. I think it moved just right. I didn't
Was
feel
it an
bored.
enjoyable show?
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It was good. I mean, considering what it was, considering everything surrounding it and whatnot, a decent show, man.
Yeah.
I won't say wow, blew my mind. I'm gonna go back and watch it again and again. It's not that show, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a good show. It was a
Solid.
good, yeah, yeah, and what Cody pulled off. Like I said, not many guys can do that. Not many guys would do that.
No, they would have sat out and said, I can't wrestle. Which you couldn't blame him if he didn't do the match, because that is a legit injury. But fact that he did that, man,
Well,
earned a
I
lot.
think
Yeah.
he when he realized that the bone, the muscle being completely removed, and no matter what, there's no more damage you can do to it.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Fuck it, let's go."
Yeah.
You know.
Amazing. How long is he going to be out for now? Does anybody know?
Well, if he's like Mr. John Cena, he should be probably back within 2 weeks.
He ain't no John
But
Cena.
no, no, no. So this guy, I think we're looking at a Royal Rumble, maybe Royal Rumble.
You think that long?
It's about 6 to 8 months, man. It's huge. Like, I mean, he
He
tore
was
right
saying,
off.
wasn't what he's saying, 4 weeks? He's back?
I think he's just treating it that way. Like he referenced it. So hey, why don't we just get into it then? So on Raw, the next night, Cody comes out. He starts the show by thanking everybody and whatnot, and he starts talking about how Money in the Bank, and says, by any chance, you know, what are the possibilities that I could walk up that ladder and just take the briefcase, right?
Yeah.
He's hinting at it, but the reality of it is, I don't think he's going in for surgery tomorrow, which would be
Okay.
Wednesday. And from that point, depending how badly damaged it is, I mean, yeah, they say you can't do any more damage, but if you put yourself through a grueling match with bumps and things like that, and you do it again on the Monday night, which we'll talk about here in a second, of course, it's going to be a lot more mush than anything else, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guesstimating at least 6 months, at least.
That'd be the
Now,
smart thing. I'm sure he'll come back a little bit earlier, but yeah, maybe Survivor Series. I don't know. We'll
well, I
see.
don't know. It all depends on what it looks like, how it heals up, and how deep it is. You won't. Unfortunately, CT scans, X-rays, you can do all that great stuff, but until you actually cut and go in and actually see it, you don't know,
Yeah, well, fair play.
right? So it's just it could be anything. It could be minor. It could be huge. It could be 6 months. Who knows? It all depends on what level he wants to come back at. What's his main goal? Like
Yeah,
what 6 months in terms of for the next 4 to 5 years?
exactly. Yeah,
Is this
he's
a short
mid-30s.
run?
Be careful.
Well, he's got to be careful, but it also sucks, man, because like I said, he's vaulted himself into another stratosphere
He has.
of fandom and just overall legacy. So to kind of lose that momentum kind of sucks a little bit as well.
Would
But
you
I
say
could,
would you say Cody's a late bloomer? Was he 36 and he's just becoming a big star now?
well, no, I think he was already a star, but I think he just propelled himself further.
I mean, to the next level. He was never like he's never been an A+ guy. You know what I mean? He's always just kind of been
Yeah,
around.
I put him in the A group, maybe not
Yeah.
the A+, but he
No.
has elevated himself there now. He truly has.
Yes.
As a prediction for Money in the Bank, you could have all the guys fighting, and he just comes out quietly when no one's looking and takes the briefcase,
Yeah.
and it keeps him relevant. I don't know.
I think
But
with if Cody can keep this up, doing what he's been doing, then yeah, he might get to that A+ level finally. They might almost be 40 years old, but he's almost so close to getting there. You could see it. He's on the way. He's having a hell of a run right now.
he is, and this injury just kind of comes out of nowhere and hurts him.
Yeah.
So he cuts his promo, and Seth comes out and he congratulates him. He shakes his hand. He says, "I still don't like you, but what you did last night was amazing." Gave him his props, and I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, all right." He's leaving the company, so you need another face. I'm thinking as I'm watching this, right? I think the biggest problem they've had in the last year, if not 2 years, in my opinion, is the fact that they cannot make a face to save their life. Heels are easy for them,
Mm-hmm.
but having an A+ face, it's eluded them. They tried it with Drew. They tried it with, it's unfair for Drew because he was the pandemic guy, right?
Yeah.
I wish they'd given him an opportunity when WrestleMania in Tampa there, where they actually had fans and everything. I
Yeah.
wish he didn't lose it to Bobby. He should have gotten a chance with the audience. But you know what? We'll see. We'll see where they go with him. But right now they're missing a face there. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is something that Seth is doing and a gradual face turn or something.
Yeah.
Uh
Maybe we're gonna see Brock come back for SummerSlam or something.
Possibly, who knows, man? I mean, they've had to rewrite a lot of stuff now, obviously, because of this. But here's what we got instead. Instead of becoming a heel, Seth elevated himself to even more of a heel, a super heel, an
Yeah.
A+ heel. As Cody was walking back, and Seth had already left, right? He
Yeah.
attacked him from behind with the sledgehammer and just beat the shit out of him again. So I
Yeah.
guess you're trying to write him off the show, but I mean, they were making it sound like it was such a horrible thing that he did that even Corey Graves, who's the heel commentator, was upset by what he did to him,
Yep. That's true.
which just elevates it. I mean, if you think about the psychology of it, oh my God, the heel commentator even angry about what the heel did. That
Yeah.
makes him a real bad guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. They did. It was well played. Well done.
Yeah, so Dana versus Becky was the first match of the night. I just started it out as a regular match. I'm thinking, okay, squash, whatever, right? Haven't seen Becky really do anything outside of the championship picture, so this was kind of cool to see where she
Yeah.
goes next. Um, all of a sudden, the 24/7 crew come out and surround the ring. Tozawa, the current champion, hops in the ring, and Dana pins him mid-match with Becky. Becky's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, legit, it was funny. It was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It was
And
good.
they turn it into a 24/7 match for the title, Becky versus Dana Brooke. I'm thinking, wow, from women's championship to 24/7 champion. Okay, here we go. But now we know what direction Becky's going into because Asuka came out and interfered in the match and cost her the win. So the story between Asuka and Becky is still going on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe another match, Money in the Bank here.
Yeah, yeah. Miz comes out to do Miz TV with Maurice as they come to promote season 3 of Miz and Mrs.
I've still never watched that. You ever watched that?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. I'll be honest.
I want to watch it. I like Miz. I just haven't had a chance, but I need to check it out.
Yeah, I believe it's on the network. The first 2 seasons are,
Okay.
and wherever you stream your regular TV shows, you'll find it there. Not bad. I mean, it's your typical reality kind of type show.
Yeah.
You have her mom, his dad, his parents, I guess, the kids and him. And guys like Dolph Ziggler kind of pop by and this or that. And it's just kind of, it is what it is. It's a good
Yeah.
laugh. It's funny.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
If you have a half an hour to waste, perfect. You got it
Yeah.
right there, man.
I like the Miz, so I don't mind checking it out.
Yeah. So Riddle comes out and interrupts their thing, challenges the Miz to a match, which Maurice accepts for him. And Riddle beats him, and that was it. And the chance of little balls, and like they really made fun of his nuts, man.
Yeah.
Throughout this promo.
Yeah,
It was kind of funny. Even Maurice got into it. Like he's got average balls, and the Miz was like, "What are you talking about? King Kong balls, gigantic balls." Like that was kind of funny. It was a good comedy bit.
pushing the line a little bit of attitude error for a little bit almost.
Like I said, I wish they could do like TNA and drop the S bombs and stuff like that. I think it would just be so much more fun.
It'd never be that way again. Not with all the advertisers and public company anymore.
No, for sure. I mean, it's a long time ago. Street Profits defeated the Usos via countout for a future championship match. These guys worked really well together. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. I think they're the best tag team in WWE.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the Usos.
Yeah, no, Street Profits are fun, man. It's legit modern day power. It's kind of like Brett and Neidhart. Brett had all Brett had all the aerial and the quickness and whatnot, which what's his name? What's that guy's name? The skinnier one of the Street Profits. Montez Ford. Thank you. He kind of reminds me of the Brett of that team in terms of the high flying, just his quickness and whatnot. And his partner, he's just he's quick too. Don't get me wrong, he's quicker than Neidhart ever would have been, but he's pure power.
Yeah, I don't understand the Usos. I don't get their appeal. I don't care for their gimmick. I don't care for their in-ring work. Too many super kicks they do it all the time. It just don't like the Usos. I don't think they're that great. This is my opinion.
Fair enough, man. I mean, I think go back and watch that Hell in the Cell with them and the New Day.
Yeah, they've had some good matches over the time, but when I look at those guys, like it just.
Well, maybe they need to change up some of their
like average Joes to me. Like nothing stands out to me. I don't think they're that great in the mic. Their look doesn't.
Maybe they need to change some of their move setup.
That just their gear, their gimmick. They don't like it.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah. Veerman versus Dominic Mysterio. Veerman wins this match via DQ and Ray says enough's enough, and he doesn't want to see Sun get the shit out of him anymore.
Man versus boy.
Man versus boy. Very simple.
I like what he's doing so far. They're trying to make him like a monster, scary guy, tough guy. So far, it's so good.
It's not for us.
No.
It has nothing to do with this market. I mean, they're promoting him and they're building him for the India market. And like I told you before, man, it totally makes sense. Like if you don't know these things, we'll tell you these things. 56 million people watched WrestleMania in India.
Exactly.
Okay, we're in Canada. That's double our population almost.
Yeah, it's insane how many people watch in India, dude.
Right. So this whole Veerman thing, people here are laughing about it and whatnot. Like, oh, how many months are they going to keep announcing his debut and what have you? But it wasn't for us. It was never for this market.
100% nailed it, man. You're 100% accurate. Yeah.
Right. And I want the fans to know, and our fans and listeners to know, that everything that we see, remember, it's not all catered towards the North American audience.
We seem to think it is. We're so spoiled here with all the stuff we get.
No, 100%. Like Gunther, that whole German faction they have over in SmackDown, not for us.
Yes.
It's for that market.
Yeah, it's for
When they go
Europe.
on these European tours and stuff, this is what their kids are wanting to see. They want to see Gunther. Kids in India want to see Veer Mon. They
Oh
want to
yeah,
see Jinder Mahal. They want to see Shanky. We laugh at Shanky dancing on SmackDown, but shit, he's selling his brand over there, man. Like, I
oh
mean,
yeah,
why would you cater to your? Why would you care what 3 million people in North America think?
100%, dude. And that's the thing is WWE is a global brand. They're everywhere. Europe, India, Japan. Name a country, you can watch WWE there.
No, for sure, they're everywhere, man. Um, you ready?
Yep.
Finn, so the Judgment Day comes out, and Damian Priest talks about how they've evolved and how they've taken steps, and then Rhea Ripley talks about the same thing, and then Edge, which is really interesting if you think about it. I don't know if you caught this or not. He starts off his promo with, "Okay, guys, the adult in the room is now talking."
Yeah, that was good.
Right now, the thinking part of my brain when it comes to wrestling is like, "Oh, this is interesting." Like he just put himself above his own team. You know what I mean? With
Smart.
that kind of a comment. So it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting. It's where it goes. So he goes, "We have the newest member of the Judgment Day." And guess what? Like you said, man, like you were thinking, it was Finn Balor.
Mhm.
So Finn comes out and he talks about that he's tired of constantly losing and not having any success, and this is what he needs to do. So all four of them are all standing together, and Damien basically says that, we were basically shedding everything that we don't need that's weighing us down, and we have one last thing to shed. Now I'm thinking they're all going to beat the shit out of Finn again, and this is the genius of Edge, in my opinion. They turn on him. They beat the shit out of Edge.
Yeah, I
Double
like.
concerto shot, everything, coup de grace. You know what this reminded me of?
What's that?
When AJ Styles came, or was it the other way around? No, no, it's AJ Styles. The same thing happened to AJ too. So when AJ came to New Japan and he joined the Bullet Club,
No, I never
at,
watched in Japan. I didn't
okay,
see it.
at that time, Finn Balor, who was known as Prince Divot,
Okay.
he was the current leader of the Bullet Club. In fact, he's probably the original guy from the Bullet Club.
Okay.
Finn had already signed with the WWE, so to get him off in New Japan and whatnot, they beat him up to get him out. Very
Okay.
similar to what they did to Edge last night.
Edge isn't like I was saying to you before in a couple of our older podcasts. I said Edge doesn't really need to be an active member. That he kind of got the ball rolling with it, and now I'm kind of glad they did this. Finn's younger. He needs that push. Edge doesn't
Yeah.
need this.
Well, I think the thinking behind this, and tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Listeners, tell me if I'm wrong. Um, with Cody going out, you have no faces,
Yeah, that could be too.
right? So you need someone from a face standpoint that has a credible name,
He does.
and you basically turned him a face overnight, where you turned Seth into a super villain. You turn this guy back to a face, but it just, and it came out of nowhere. That's the most shocking part of it. It's just, that was one thing I did not expect.
I like it.
I was a fan at that point. At that time, I was a legit fan because, you know,
That's
in
what
the
makes wrestling beautiful when they do things like that.
well, I'm just glad the internet didn't get a hold of it.
Yeah,
It
which is hard
wasn't
to do.
exactly. So to hold it back and I think it was probably a decision made in the morning once they realized, what Cody's situation was.
Yeah,
But back to that whole face thing, if you think about it, they really need to make some faces, man, because they look, all their top faces are in their 40s. Um, AJ,
yeah.
Edge, I guess. Who else? Bobby Lashley,
Lashley.
right? I mean,
But
I'm
it's not
just
like AEW. All their top guys in their 40s too.
yeah, exactly, right. And speaking of AW, before anyways, that was Raw. That was basically Raw in a nutshell. Rhea Ripley did win, sorry, a fatal four-way match to compete against Bianca in the for a title shot. Sorry, man, I lost my train of thought here.
Okay.
To train Sorry. Yeah, okay, let's start that again. So Rhea Ripley won a fatal four-way match to go up against Bianca Belair at Money in the Bank. Now, this is going to be a fun match because, like we were talking about, I think those are the two strongest women right now going.
I
So
agree with that.
I think he's going to have a lot of fun with this match. Um, so that was basically Raw. Uh, but the thought I wanted to get across, MJF angle. What do you think of it?
It's all right. It just seems too like I know they're trying to sell like this could be real or not, but it almost seems too contrived. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. This promo was good, but I mean, he's under contract for a couple of years. He's not going anywhere. So I
Oh no,
mean,
it's a complete work. I mean, more and more keeps coming out on it. All of it's a work. Obviously, it's a work.
yeah,
First thing I thought about, and I mean, I listen to my podcast and I read my dirt sheets and I read articles. The woman I have not seen anyone really say, and if they have, I haven't heard it. Doesn't this remind you of Austin and McMahon in a way?
the way they're doing MJF and Tony Khan. The thing is, Tony Khan is like he's just like a nerdy looking dude, so he'll never be able to be that cool badass like Vinnie Mac. He just looks like a Star Trek guy. You know what I mean?
No, I
No
get it.
offense to Star Trek fans, but
Yeah, no, well, I'm a Star Trek
kind of
fan, so
yeah, kind of has that similar vibe like Austin McMahon. Maybe that's where they're going with it.
but I'm looking at A&W as a whole. Like if you look at, and it just started kind of making more and more sense to me after I had that thought. I started watching some other things now. The Hardys music sounds like the Hardys music from WWE.
Yeah.
Adam Cole's music, Red Dragon's music sound like their WWE music. Samoa Joe's music sounds like Samoa Joe's music from WWE. It's
No, I never thought.
slightly different, but heavy tuba.
Yeah.
You know, um, I don't know, man. I almost feel like they're trying to copy a lot of stories now.
They're running out of ideas, maybe. You know what I mean?
MJF threw the pipe bomb, made famous by CM Punk in WWE.
Yeah.
Now you got the owner fighting with this guy. But the funny thing is, everyone's cheering MJF now.
I know.
They love it.
Yeah, he's a great talker. Hell of a talker. He's young. He's only 26. He had a hell of a future ahead of him.
Yeah,
So
no, definitely.
we'll see
That's
what
basically it, man. Ric Flair says that he's going to take a big bump in his final match. The
gonna
man
take.
wants to die in the ring, I think.
He'll be okay. You can see the videos. He's taking that he's being thrown around on his back. He'll take a big bump off the top rope. That famous pick him and throw him down that he does off the top rope. He'll do it.
You're not concerned?
No, he's fine, man. Because I was watching him train, he was getting hip tossed and thrown around, landing on his back. He'll be fine. One bump, it'll sting, and he'll feel it. But that guy loves wrestling. Lives it 24/7. He wants to go out there, get the limelight again. I'm all for it. If he thinks he can do it, somebody wants to book him, go for it.
Well, I guess if the people closest to him are okay with it, who am I to be against it, right? I mean, I just don't want him to get hurt, and
He's not gonna get hurt. All he's gonna do, dude, is punch and kick and chop. He'll take that backdrop and he'll take the throw off the top rope, and that'll be it. It's more just for styling and profiling, man. He wants people cheering for him. He's the man. I love it. I have no problem with it. He thinks he can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like if I could watch the show, I'd pay to watch it. If he gives it in Vancouver, I'd pay $100 to go see it.
Well, I mean, it's Ric Flair. I'd go too, but I mean,
I'd pay $100 to watch Wayne Gretzky skate around. The guys that he knows, people still love him.
Would you pay $100 to see Gretzky skate around?
Oh hell yeah! If
Really?
if he did one of those old timer games, yeah, I'd pay that.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I appreciate that. Did you ever see Gretzky play live?
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah, seen him twice. Came to Vancouver.
I think that was the beauty of having guys like Gretzky and Connor so close to us that we actually get to see them on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I think I've seen Connor 4 or 5 times, something like that.
Wow. So I don't know if I wanted to talk about this or not, or how do you feel a day or two removed now?
Colorado deserves it, man. They outplayed them. They're a good team. They're gonna win the cup, I think, man. I think we're gonna see Colorado, Tampa Bay. I think it's Colorado's time. Everything's going their way. They got all the talent. Kadri's out for the rest of the playoffs. That cheap shot that Vander Kane game when he cross-checked him from behind, he went to the boards.
So you're Oilers fan, and you agree that was a cheap shot?
Well, I mean, Vander Kane saying he embellished it on his skates, but I don't know, man. He was coming pretty fast. You can't cross check from the back. I mean,
Okay, at that level, like you always say, when you're playing at that level,
mm,
you know about speed and you know
he
where your
knows.
stopping ranges are, and you know what you need to do in order to make it a safe hit.
Yeah,
That tells me that he did it. Maybe he didn't do it intentionally, but he didn't really try very hard to stop it either.
no. Evander Kane's known for dirty plays. He does that. I get what he was trying to do. He's trying to play on the edge, hit guys, push them, give a little grit to the team. Hey guys, let's get going here, right? I get what he was doing. He
Does
just
that does that
he's done
hurt
it many
Kane
times.
getting a contract next year? You think?
Yeah, yeah. He led the team in goals. He played his heart out. He's done so much stupid
No,
things.
no, but
This is
that one stupid act, do you think that erased everything good that he's done since he's come to the Oilers?
no, because McDavid loves him. The team loves him. Coach loves him. He's got a
Okay.
lot of baggage, but this time, besides that play, you didn't hear anything negative about him. He wasn't beating up women anymore. He wasn't doing any of that stupid stuff that he does. He played his heart out, man. I think we should bring him back for at least a year.
Okay,
A
fair
little bit
enough,
of,
fair enough. I read an article today where
and get
Deborah
rid of Mike
McMichael.
Smith, man. He looks like a beer league goalie. I love the guy's personality, but he never made one big save. Shots were going in. We were winning 4-2 yesterday. Next thing you know, it's 5-4 for them. Stop the damn puck, man. Make a big save.
I don't
There's
know, bro. Like I said, I think I texted this to you yesterday. I mean,
yeah,
this goaltending issue's been it's 5 years and going.
I know.
Like
And
all the money, all the
coach,
draft.
Jay Woodcroft, you sit Mike Smith. I'd sit his ass down after the first 3 games. Why does he? Even the second game, like he should have said, "Hey, you're sitting down, dude. I don't care." He's a cool guy. Fans love him. The long hair, and he's a fun guy. But you're not stopping the puck. This is the pros. This is not beer league hockey, dude. Yeah.
Where do you go from
Oh,
here?
don't get me wrong, but like he didn't make one big save. Like, oh my god, he made the save to keep his team in the game. He did nothing. Like,
I think that when Markstrom was available, they should have signed him. I
oh,
personally feel, regardless of how that series went against Calgary,
mhm.
um, if you had Markstrom in that, I almost and with that offense and everything you have in front of you,
Yeah.
they would have maybe not gone to the final, but I still think they'd be playing right now.
At least win a game or two, something.
Where do you go from here? Who's
Well, I think
available?
get a couple more defensemen, a little more solid, and then get another goalie, even an average goalie.
Where though? Who's available?
So get some journeyman, get a couple younger guys, put them together, and get an average goalie at even average. Because Smith can be a backup, but he's not a starter.
Because as it
No way.
stands right now, your backup is actually leaving for the KHL,
Yeah, he's gone.
right? So he's gone. So you basically got Mike Smith. Who do you have in the cupboard? Anyone?
Nobody. We'll bring in another number one goalie in Smith. You want to stay here, you're gonna back up or get lost. He's gonna be 41. Like, you know what I mean? He's a cool guy, but like he can't win you that big game.
Yeah.
And you get the Stanley Cup, you need your goalie to stand on their head. So Oilers will be a top 3 or 4 favorite next year if they make it to the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they will, but they'll be the betting favorites, at least top 3 or 4, right?
I think that would only happen if they show some improvement in goaltending.
Yeah, Smith won't be the starter next year. There's no way.
And I really don't know who's available.
They'll could trade for something. I don't know. They'll find a way, get a free agent. I'm not sure who the free agent
All right,
are.
as an oil fan, who are you willing to give up off that roster for a keeper?
Well, it depends on the quality of the keeper, but you can get rid of maybe a Nugent Hopkins, who's a good player. You gotta give up something to get something, right? Obviously, you got to keep McDavid and Draisaitl.
Well,
But
Kane might be a good trade bait too, based on his
so much
performance in the
he's
playoffs.
like Antonio Brown, though.
Yeah,
So
but
much.
that playoff performance, man. I mean, he proved himself. I mean, how many guys have amazing regular seasons but shit the bed in the playoffs? I mean, this guy goes the other way.
Well, he took it to the next level. I think he realized I've screwed up so much. This is my last stop. I got the best player in the world here. Let's go, boys. And
Yeah.
he did it, man. Love it. Love him for that.
No, for sure. All right, brother man. Well, listen, let's wrap it up here. Let's call it
Yeah.
a day. Guys, I will be announcing something really, really cool. So check out Instagram and TikTok for that announcement. I'm not even telling Chance Michaels. I want him to be surprised too.
It's gonna be a good one.
So, on that note, I will say thank you to everyone for taking out the time to listening to us and taking in our thoughts and our ideas. And if you guys have any suggestions or comments in regards to anything we talked about here today, please leave a comment. I keep saying it. I'm still waiting for someone to leave one. Eventually someone will listen to us. What do you got, Chance?
It was a good show. We've got another good one coming tomorrow, and more good shows to come, more good guests, more surprises. Stay tuned.
Yeah, no,
Keep
absolutely, guys,
you.
100%. So, on behalf of myself, Mr. Bobby Sampson, I give you Mr. Chance Michaels.
In the words of the great ACDC, those who download, subscribe, like, and share the podcast, we salute you.
All right, I've always wanted to ask you this: did ACDC actually say that, or?
Oh yeah, you haven't heard that song?
No, but if you download our podcast and stuff,
No,
that
I
part.
added that part.
Okay. I just wanted to
They
make
say for those about the rock, we salute
Yeah.
you.
No, I know. I've always wanted to throw that at.
Yeah.
So in the words of Ed Whalen, in between time and in the meantime, that's it. And this is the part I'm adding for Samp&Chance. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe. Happy rest of the week. And we will be in touch with you guys very soon. Good night.